Well, welcome back. The African Transformation Movement has resubmitted its motion of no confidence in President Cyril Ramaphosa to the National Assembly Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. The ATM says irregular expenditure in government and state-owned entities has spiked since Ramaphosa took over as president. A previous motion of no confidence by the party, which has 2 seats in Parliament, was called in February last year, where it wanted a secret ballot. Court has recently ruled that the Speaker now has to make a new decision on whether this will go ahead through a secret ballot. The spokesperson for the African Transformation Movement is Sibusiso Mncwabe. Sibusiso, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. Why do you want this vote against President Cyril Ramaphosa? Why do you believe he should be recalled, or MPs should at least vote on his performance?
Well, the performance of the president, everyone can see that is disappointing. You know, when we introduced this motion last year, in 20 February, the reasons that we brought forward then, they've maybe doubled now. That time, we brought this motion because we were so concerned about how the state-owned enterprises were being managed. They were poorly managed. Eskom, SAA, Denel, and others. Unemployment rate was very high. Fruitless and unauthorized expenditure under his watch was high. Today we hear something even more that supports those arguments. And there's nothing has changed really in his leadership that can make us to say, yes, we are convinced there is change. It's even more on what we said the last time on our reasons. Unemployment and how state-owned enterprises are performing. And even the poor ministers, their performances has never been reprimanded. So it's something that tells us that we were correct then, we are still correct now. President can't lead us anymore.
The ANC has a majority. It's not certain that other parties will support you. They might, but the ANC still has the majority. Do you really believe you'll be able to vote the president out of office? It seems unlikely. You've got, I'm afraid to say, Sibusiso, 2 seats.
Well, look, that is not an issue. That is not an issue at all. I've been addressing this. Can I make this quick example? Remember when just recently the Democratic Alliance brought a motion against the PP? It was voted even by the ANC itself. So the issue is not about the seats. It's the people who vote. It's the people who see the arguments presented before them and the realities that are happening in the country before them. So we are not worried when it comes to the issues of seats. We are talking to our colleagues. The performance, the poor performance of the president, everyone can see. So we are not worried that we've got 2 seats. That is not the measure or that's something that can discourage us from pushing ahead with our motion.
If you were voted out, I presume you have someone in mind who could do a better job. I don't know who that would be. Would it be David Mabuza, the Deputy President? Ace Makashule has been in the news recently. Would it be him?
Well, that is not for us to address. Remember what the Constitution says. If the President is voted out through the vote of no confidence, him and the entire cabinet will have to resign. Now, the Speaker becomes the acting President to facilitate the issues of free elections. That will tell you that IEC will come in as well in terms of facilitating the new elections that should be held by the country. So for us, it's not to say we are removing so and so because we have this candidate. That is not our goal for now. Our goal is to save South Africa from the dismal failure of this current leadership we have in government.
Spo, I don't think that's correct. If the president is voted out by Parliament, Parliament elects a new president. I think you are right that Cabinet has to resign. Cabinet is removed. But thus, a parliamentary vote of confidence against a president doesn't lead to a new election. It can if Parliament can't elect a new president. But, I mean, Parliament would elect a new president. That's all that would happen. And that person would come, I presume, from the ANC.
Well, as I've said, that is not our goal to say who will come in. Our goal is to remove poor performance. Then the Constitution kicks in and issues of IEC and everything. Then
again, Spo, the IEC has nothing to do with it. The Chief Justice would come and preside over a parliamentary election for a new president. That's what would happen.
After the elections, after the national elections, yes, in the first sitting, the presiding officer will be the Chief Justice of the Republic.
Well, then it would be the Speaker. You're correct. But there wouldn't be another election, is the point.
At that time.
All right.
Pardon me.
So we have all of these problems. Are you certain it's the fault of just the president? Well, I suppose would go the argument. I mean, we're a country with many, many problems. Unemployment's been rising since the 1970s.
Well, since the President Ramaphosa has taken over, everything has doubled. The sorrows of the people of this country have doubled. Everyone can see. It's not us who are bringing the Auditor General reports. It's the Auditor General's office and other reports pointing to the failure of the current leadership. Just today, we've just heard that fruitless expenditure is now about hundreds of billions. It has increased amazingly. Under his watch, let me make this example. Some of the ministers were implicated in the state capture inquiry, including deputy ministers. Who was fired? Who was reprimanded? You've got a leader who can't take decisions. That is why even this lockdown is badly managed. What happened to the favorite billion? No one knows. There's no clear report. So there's a lot that supports our motion. There is a lot that supports our reasoning to say the current president can't take us any further. I mean, even yourself, you were there during the previous election. Even the people of the country rejected his leadership. When you look at the outcomes of the election.
You're talking about the local election, you mean? Right, we'll leave it there. ATM spokesperson Sibusiso Mncwabe, thanks very much indeed.